Leads, right? So if you're in the sales game, leads are the oxygen for the sales team to breathe and earn revenue, right? Inbound leads are critical. You got to have them. Now, you can cold call, that's fine. I don't mind cold calling. Like, I'm a bit of a son of a bitch, right? Like, I was calling out of a phone book when I first got into sales in a 40-foot container with a flickering fluoro light above my head with one of those phones that did that. You know, so, now, in all honesty, I had a mobile phone. It was an iPhone, but with a corded earpiece in it, right? And I'd have to dial the numbers with my fingers. Agents have got it too easy now, man. They just have to click a button and use auto dialers and stuff like that. So I'm going to talk about leads. So if you want sales to be successful in your company, or if you're a sales manager for your team, you need to generate leads. How do you do that? So I'm going to run through a couple of concepts that I use sequentially to build revenue over time, right? So let's dive in. So you can't generate leads all at once, right? You have to work in what I call iterations. And there's definitely iterations to lead generation. So you need to figure out, the first thing you need to do is you need to figure out, where's my customer? You know, what social platforms are they on? Is it Facebook? Is it TikTok? Is it LinkedIn? You know, you've really got to figure out what social platform that they're on. By the way, every social platform will have an advertising back end to it, because that's how they monetize, right? But here's one thing I know. Advertising on social media platforms will not get any cheaper. It's only going to get more expensive. So the longer you leave it, the more money it's going to cost you. So think about that. Now, do you go all in? Absolutely not. Do not do that. That's the dumbest thing that you could do, because you don't have an A/B test or proven any lead quality or lead generation quantities yet, right? You don't know what your ROAS is. You don't know what your CPL will be, or any of that sort of stuff. So CPL is cost per lead, by the way. I think it's a bit of a vanity metric. I'll talk about that a little bit later. So if you're starting to, I've got to get leads, or I'm getting a few leads, and how do I increase it? One of the surefire ways to do that is to put more money into advertising. Instantly, that'll happen. And then people go to me, yeah, but Lawrence, how much do I put into it? So you can work on a couple of different verticals, right? There's 2 or 3 models that you can use that I would advise that you consider. And the first thing is the percentage of sales revenue, gross. So if you're making $10,000 a week, you might say, I can afford to put 10% in, so that's $1,000. So as sales go up, the deal flow goes up, because your investment is based on percentage of gross sales. That means that you can get steady growth over a period of time, right? Over a time horizon, it works pretty well. The other thing is you can have a fixed cost, right? So you might go, I'm going to invest in advertising. The team are not making enough money, but how do I get them from $10,000 a week to $20,000 a week? And I don't want to wait. I'm super impatient. I want to get it done now. You got to throw cash at it. So this is just one thing you can do, by the way. I'm not saying this is the only solution. This is just one thing that you can do. So you might go, I'm going to take my investment from 10%, 1,000, and I'm going to 2x it to 2,000. So that's a fixed investment. So you might go, I'll take a percentage of revenue, plus I'm going to top it up. So that's the blended context of that initiative, right? Or you might just say, screw it, I'm just going to put in $2,000 for the next 60 days. And I'm going to go for it. Now you've got to figure out conversion rates and all that sort of stuff, cost per lead and all that sort of stuff, return on advertising spend and all that sort of stuff, right? So those are some easy things to do, right? So you've got a fixed cost, you've got a percentage of gross sales, and then you've got a blended version of the two, which is sort of what I would recommend that you do if you wanted to get there fast. If you can take your time, just get a percentage of sales, then it's not going to come off your bottom line revenue, right? So that's a nice safe way of doing it. Cool. So let's square that away. I'll go back to, where is your customer? So where do you advertise? You got to go and do your research. Go pay someone on freelancer.com or Odesk or whatever. I don't even know if Odesk is still running. I used to use it, but you know, and say, hey, I'm looking for marketing research and reports on this. You could probably download that and get it for free, or use a good quality AI to go and research that information for you. Once you've figured out where they are, that's where you drive your revenue. Now, here's the thing. If the report tells you they're on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn, do not advertise on 3 different platforms, please. I've done that and it doesn't work, because you don't know anything yet. Your ads haven't propagated. You don't have any metrics or any data to make good quantitative decisions, right? To go slow, the majority of them are on Facebook. We'll leave the other platforms out for now. And all we'll do is we're going to go all in. So what I'm saying is, go all in on one thing. and get it to the best place and position that you can get it before you start to diversify, right? So just go, okay, so now my decision is, I'm just gonna go percentage of gross sales because I don't have enough cash. I've done my research and I've figured out that my customer is on Facebook. Sweet, great. So now I'm in. Now all I need to do is get all that set up. Go and find someone that knows how to use Meta, advertising platform, right? There's a car in front of me called Aura. I've never seen a car with a brand called Aura before. O-R-A, brand new car. Chinese brand, really? Sort of looks okay. Looks a bit plastic, but
It's horrible.
I think it's okay. Look, it's probably super cheap, right? Yeah. Anyway, Aura, there you go. Hey, Aura, if you're listening, can you send me one of those cars so I can bag the shit out of it? I'm joking. I'm joking. I wouldn't do that. I would not do that. No, so I'm gonna go back to it. So leads, right? So once you've figured that all out, I'm going all in on Facebook. Go to freelancer.com. Go get one of those guys or girls to get you set up, and then rock and roll. And here's the thing: leave it alone. Small incremental changes, not big massive pivots. Small incremental changes. The recruitment of that advertising specialist, by the way, think about this. Here's the psychology. If Facebook marketing can 10x your revenue, how much time do you think you should put into recruiting the right meta specialist? That's not a pop quiz. A lot of time. You gotta find the right person. My advice, they must have worked on a budget 3x bigger than your budget. They must have taken the company from here to here. They've worked with a business in your market, so they understand the avatar. And they've got at least a minimum of 3 super fantastic years managing Meta. So they understand all the updates, they understand the algorithm. Once you find that person, they're gonna change your business. Here's the thing, there's a lot of people in the market who say they can do that, but they can't. So be careful. That would be my take. Because most of them are pretty hopeless. All right, so you got that guy or girl, they're sitting in their bedroom in their pajamas, they're doing this, right? Now leads are starting to come through. Now what do you do? Obviously the team's got to convert them, but we're talking about leads, right? So now you need to look at conversion rate. So what's your data conversion rate saying in your team, right? To the lead. That's how you're going to judge the quality of it. 2 things you should do. You should look at your conversion rate metric, not your cost per lead. Don't worry about cost per lead yet. You're not there yet. When you scale, you'll be able to play around with that a little bit more. But what you want to do is if 10 leads are coming into the team, you want to be converting 2 of them at 20, is that 20%? 20%. 3 of them, is that 30%? 30%. So that's what's going to give you a lens on the quality. Now here's the thing, you can't change your ads a lot because it's going to de-optimize the ad. You can only make small incremental changes, right? Headline changes, hooks, those sorts of things. You can swap out images, sure, but I would not move too quickly in that space. What you need to do is A/B test, what they call A/B testing, and you need to run 2 opposite corresponding ads to get a feel for what the market is seeing, all right? And then you just slowly propagate that over time. Just move really, really slowly, right? So if you have 10 products, don't go in all on 10 products. Just advertise your high sellers, which are 2, and slowly move forward. So every 30 days you're reviewing with your agent or your freelancer, right? They're providing you with reporting, super critical to get that right. Every week they send you a report. You do a 30-minute check-in with them, and you start to slowly make decisions. And I'm talking about in iterations, people. Do not make big decisions when it comes to your advertising. I've made that mistake many times. I've lost hundreds of thousands of dollars, and we spend millions of dollars on advertising every year, man. And I tell you what, I've learned a lot of harsh lessons that have cost me a lot. But you can listen to idiots like me, learn from my mistakes, right? So that's the whole point of creating great content, free content. So now you've got your team who are getting meta leads, you've got your freelancer, he's chipping away, he's got your reporting set up, you're managing your conversion, so your CRM system and the inbound leads are talking to each other and giving you an accurate conversion rate. Please get your data right. The majority of people who I coach when I go into their business, their data's wrong. I just tell them, I know that your data is inaccurate. So what you're doing is you're making misinformed decisions about your business. And if you want to scale your business, you have to get your data correct. It's super critical to get that right. And then when you get your data correct and your reporting right, you have to audit your reporting to make sure that all these automations, whether you're using Zapier or whatever you're using, or native straight from Facebook into an active campaign, that it doesn't break, right? So you have to audit it every 14 days. And you do that for 3 to 6 months, and then you can probably turn that off and then set up triggers to notify you when something breaks, right? So that's super critical to get right. All right, so now your leads they're moving, right? So you're spending $3,000 a week because you're doing $30,000 a week, right? Now you've got money to reinvest. So you can go back to the first thing I spoke about. You know what? I'm just going to 2x my lead count because you've got revenue and cash flow. You can invest back into the business using that additional cash flow. But please don't do it until then. Just let the leads slowly move and grow and learn, right? And just watch your metrics, watch your reporting. But that would be my advice. Go all on one platform, a percentage of sales revenue, so you're not blowing out any sort of budgets or pulling cash out from other area. You got to have a good advertising person who knows what they're doing, so you need to recruit them well. They need to be held to a KPI and a metric, so you need adequate reporting in place. Don't worry about vanity metrics like ROAS and CPL. Focus on conversion only at the start. Go small on one platform and consolidate. And then after that, what you're going to do is you're going to scale once you're growing a solid foundation. That would be my advice. Hope that helps. That's what I did. I've done it 2 or 3 times now in that exact framework and model. And I hope that helps. Talk to you soon.